Alright, driver's gonna speed it up. Green, green, green. You're clear to come down. Green, green, guys. Green, green, green.
money is going to be awarded to Barry Miller. Many of you may know Barry. He was a late model Sportsman driver about 2 years ago. Barry parked it in Victory Lane here at Hagerstown Speedway, but Barry had a battle with cancer several years ago, and unfortunately, that battle has continued again. Barry has been in a hospital for several weeks, and we are going to put our 50-50 money together to help out Barry and his family a little bit more. Pray for Barry and hope that things get better for that driver. He has been around racing for many, many years, and just hope the very best for Barry and his entire family. So if you have some extra money tonight, our 50-50, that portion is going to be going to Barry Miller, famed driver of that number 88 machine. In the meantime, late model Sportsman time trials underway. The 08 of Keith Koontz out of Boonesboro, Maryland, first on track. The 5 of Brad Umps out of Winchester, Virginia, and the 32X of Brian Benton out of Claysburg, Pennsylvania. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, we're going to keep that line rolling. We get you to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers time trials. Get lined up in the staging area, please. All right, Keith Koontz, he's going to set the bar tonight. The 08 machine off turn 4. He'll be the first driver to go under the clock as he gets the white flag this time by. 19.735 will be lap number 1. Here comes the 5 of Brad Umps. .32X of Cody Kirshner. He will be number 2. Or make it the Brian Benton machine. Check that. He will be 19.934. Umps will be 3rd. Koontz going by, second lap a little slower, 20.002. Umps at a 20.145. Right now that keeps him in the number 3 spot, and Benton in the 32X will wrap things up. 20.737 on lap number 2. So again, the 08 of Keith Koontz for the moment right now tops on the board as we begin the first 3 of our 28 drivers in action tonight. Your point leader, Wesley Bonebrake out of Hagerstown, the 37F, one-time feature winner this year. Next on the racetrack, he'll be joined by the B2X machine. That will be Mason Booz out of Greencastle, PA. And your defending late model Sportsman track champion, Sean Shoemaker, out of Mount Union, Pennsylvania. All right, Group 2, Bonebrake brings them back to the stripe. Lap number 1 for the Hagerstown product, looking to get tops on the board. Right now, 19.871. That will put him number 2 on the scoring pylon. Booz back to the stripe, 20.251 for the moment. That has him in 5th. And the 44 Shoemaker 2nd right now at 19.744. Second lap for Bonebrake, trying to get off that number 3 position. Back to the stripe, he'll stay 3rd, 19.892, that second lap for the Hagerstown driver. Booz to the stripe, he'll be 6th at 20.709. And the 44 Shoemaker, 20.107. Right now that keeps him number 2 with the 08 of Keith Koontz still right now number 1 on the board. All right, group number 3 coming up, 2+2, Cody Kirshner is next up on the track. Driver hailing into Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Multi-time winner in many divisions here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 70J DJ Myers out of Greencastle, PA. 2-time winner a year ago. And the 87X of Eric Irvin, very strong in warm-ups tonight. The driver hailing into Petersburg, Pennsylvania. $19.735. Right now the time held by the 08 of Keith Koontz, the very first driver out from Boonesboro, Maryland. As Kirshner brings him off at turn number 4. White flag in the air. And 20.336 for the Kirshner machine. 19.532 puts Myers tops on the board and a 20.084 for the 87 of Eric Irvin. Right now he will be number 6. But Myers has dropped it down a little bit as the field comes back for the checkered flag. Kirshner's second lap, 19.739, puts him 3rd. Myers, 19.594. And the final lap for the 87X of Irvin, he'll be 7th right now at 20.951. So the Greencastle, Pennsylvania driver, DJ Myers, 2 times a winner a year ago, right now number 1 on the board here at Late Model Sportsman qualifying. All right, up next going to be the 5.56. That'll be Eric Cronice out of Boonesboro, Maryland, making his way out. One-time feature winner Jeremy Pilkerton in the 8 machine out of Loveville, Maryland. And the runner-up in Late Model Sportsman points a year ago, the 28Z of Ryan Zook out of Mifflintown, PA. Back to the stripe, our latest trio of cars. Cronice 20.273 right now for the Boonesboro, Maryland driver. Pilkington, the 8 machine, to the stripe. He was top 10 on the board in warm-ups. He's 5th right now, 19.781. And the 28Z of Zook, he'll go 3rd, 19.737. And trouble for Cronice. A lot of smoke from the front end of that machine. And the 5.56 limping down the front straightaway. Ada Pilkington rolling by, and right now that put him 2nd, 19.630 for Jeremy Pilkington. And we'll see what the call is right now. Cronice comes to a stop. All right, so the 8 of Jeremy Pilkington, he was on a good roll. He had a heater going. He ended up number 2 on the board to DJ Myers. 28Z of Ryan Zook, by the time he got back, he was impeded. Cronice had come to a stop. So it looks like the 28Z is going to get 1 lap left in late model Sportsman time trials. He'll be going back out on the track here in a few moments. Right now, 4th on the board. DJ Myers up top, Pilkington 2nd, Keith Kuntz, Ryan Zook. They are the top 4 right now. All right, checker down for Ryan Zook at worst right now 4th as he comes back for the checkered flag in his 2-lap time trial. And he'll go tops on the board, 19.466 for the Mifflintown, Pennsylvania driver. So right now, Ryan Zook, DJ Myers, Jeremy Pilkington, Keith Kuntz, they are the top 4 as the 000 makes his way out onto the racetrack right now. That's Matt Naylor out of Shermansdale, Pennsylvania. The 12 of Bobby Beard out of Hanover, PA. And the most recent late model Sportsman winner, the 14, Cody Breeden out of Fairplay, Maryland. Pure stock drivers, you can also making semi-lates for your qualifying. Semi-late drivers for qualifying, you can start making your way to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your qualifying, you can make your way to the staging area. All right, checkered coming out for our latest trio. 000 Matt Naylor, 21.085. Bobby Beard, 21.062. And Cody Breeden, he was on the board moments ago. Right now looks like Cody's going to be 9th at 19.989 seconds in our latest trio of late model Sportsman qualifiers. All right, next group coming out, the 19, Danny Atherton, one of the top drivers in warm-ups. Let's see what he can do. Can he transition that into a top time here in late model Sportsman time trials? The 99 BA, Cody Lear out of Manchester, Maryland. And the 71, Jacob Piper, making his appearance this year. Mercersburg, Pennsylvania driver as well. Once again, semi-lates for your time trials. You can make your way to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Atherton to the stripe right now, 10th on the board, 20.078. Cody Lear in that 99. He's had some strong runs, 20.163 for the Manchester, Maryland driver. And it looks like no transponder right now, not getting times on the 71 and Jacob Piper. So no times right now on the 71. Atherton to the stripe, good comeback, 4th on the board, 19.715. That will put him in 4th. And the 99 of Cody Lear, 20.278. That will be his 2nd lap time. And again, unfortunately, the 71, there is no pickup transponder issue going on the 71 of Jacob Piper. So unfortunately, no times for the Mercersburg, Pennsylvania driver.
Jacob Piper, no hits on your transponder. It's mounted on the car wrong. You can go down to the end, and you'll get 1 lap at the end. It's mounted wrong. I can see it on the car.
All right, next up, it's going to be the 2T, powered by Trayton Lee out of Greencastle, or Macon, Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Car number 1. Also out, Justin Weaver out of Clear Spring, Maryland. And the B2 of Brian Booz out of Greencastle, PA. 3 drivers that have a good shot of figuring out something up in that top 5 on that scoring pylon. Lee, the first back to the stripe, 20.258 on lap number 1. The one of Weaver. Let's see where he winds up. For the moment, 20.014 for the Clear Spring, Maryland product. And back to the stripe for the B2 of Booz, 20.373 on that first circuit. Second lap for Trayton Lee, 20.408. As Justin Weaver back to the line, he'll go 8th on the board, 19.865. And the final lap for Booz will be at 20.177. So Justin Weaver, the only one that was able to make a mark on that top 10. And right now 8th in Late Model Sportsman time trials. All right, up next, the 81 Jimmy Jesmer out of Pasadena, Maryland, defending modified champion here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Brought the late model out a couple of weekends ago and had a good performance. Another driver with a great performance, the 11 of Spike Moore, a one-time feature winner, another former modified driver, still does some modified racing out of Defiance, Pennsylvania. And also the 92 Devin Hart out of Port Royal, PA. Good laps in warm-ups earlier.
71 of Piper, go down to the, we'll send you out 1 lap to the end.
All right, Jesmer back to the stripe, 20.702 for the Pasadena, Maryland driver in that blue 81 machine. As they work their way back to the stripe, Spike Moore looking to see if he can make a mark in that top 10. Right now, 20.253 will be his lap time. And the first lap coming up for the 92 of Devin Hart. Right now, 20.554. Final lap for Jesmer, going to be a 20.932. Checker down for Spike Moore. He's trying to find his way on the top 10. 20.428 for the Defiance, Pennsylvania machine. And the 92 of Devin Hart. He will be at 20.043. So just a handful of drivers left to go in Late Model Sportsman time trials. The 71 of Jacob Piper will indeed get a lap. There was a transponder issue, so if we can get that solved, we want to make sure a driver does get a lap at least in qualifying. So right now the 25K of Ray Cable III out of Westminster, Maryland, making his way onto the track. 27 of Lee Zeger out of Huntington, Pennsylvania. And the 94 powered by Brandon Bard out of Greencastle, PA. Once again, semi-lates for your time trials to the staging area. Semi-late drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Cable to the stripe, 20.052 that first time by, 21.263 going to Lee Zeger. And the 94 of Brandon Bard, 20.142 on lap number 1. Second and final lap here in Late Model Sportsman action. Going to be the 25K of Cable back to the stripe, 20.578 will be his time. 27 is Zeger, 20.776. And for the 94 Brandon Bard, 20.223. As we look to wrap up our Late Model Sportsman time trials, we mentioned the 71 of Piper, if they had a possibility of going back out. Looks like they're sitting in the pits. So it looks like they have got the transponder issue solved. They are pushing the 71 of Piper back into the staging area, so he will be allotted at least 1 lap. And then that will wrap up the Late Model Sportsman time trial portion of the program. Once again, semi-lates for your qualifying. Semi-late drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. So for the moment, going to be Ryan Zook in that 28Z up top, 70J of TJ Myers, the 8 of Jeremy Pilkerdon, the 19 of Danny Atherton, and the 08 of Keith Coots, top 5 in Late Model Sportsman time trials this evening. All right, white flag out for the 71 of Jacob Piper, another driver that did run the Appalachian Mountain Speedway for the super late models. He was top 10 in points. And always good to see that driver hailing into Mercersburg, Pennsylvania, make his way here to the Hagerstown Speedway tonight. One lap, one final driver as he makes his way back to the checkered flag. And for Jacob Piper, 20.696. And that will wrap up late model sportsman time trials. Ryan Zook of the 28Z in Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, top qualifier tonight. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, you could rise as you're able for our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the gift of this day that you have given us. We thank you for the wonderful season of spring. We got much needed rain, we had nice cool temperatures, and we had 3 very good months of the spring season. We know as summer comes, that means warmer weather. We ask you to help us be mindful to take care of our own selves. You take care of us in your own way, but it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and keep us well hydrated and take good care of us no matter where we are and what we're doing in our life. Tonight we're very grateful as friends and racing family to be here at the Speedway to enjoy a great racing event. Please keep our drivers and our crew members safe as they perform their jobs out on the racetrack. Please keep our race officials safe and help them as they continue to make the decisions they need to help us run a very efficient program here this evening. It's been some very trying times these last couple of weeks in our world, and things are very much tension. We ask you to please help our military, guide them, protect them, and all of our officials that make so much key decisions in life that have a great bearing on ourselves and our own lives. We certainly hope that things only get better, and that once again we will be back here next week and many weeks to come to enjoy the sport we love so much and to enjoy each other as racing friends and family. In all of this, we thank you and we give praise in your holy name. Amen. Kent will be the first driver coming out in a few moments. And we will have 3 cars that will make their way out, much like our late model sportsmen's. 2 laps will be the distance in their time trial process here this evening. So again, the 1C of Steve Kent first on the board, the number 4 of Justin Michael, and also the 3D, Shane McQuay out of Sykesville, Maryland. First 3 drivers out as they get the green flag. All right, Steve Kent bringing them back to the line. And lap number 1, 22.206 for the 2-time feature winner. Michael in the number 4, 23.329 on lap number 1. And the 3D, Shane McQuay, 24.307. Had a little bit of trouble over in turn number 2 moments ago. McQuay's a much stronger driver than that. Gets a little bit better through that first and second turn, so it looks like this second lap will be better. Kent draws the bar up to a 22.097. That's where he'll set that. 22.971 for the number 4 of Michael that time by. And the 3D of McQuay, he does improve up into the number 2 spot, 22.956. Will put him in the runner-up spot in our Simulate Time trials here this evening. All right, group number 2 about to make their way out. The 88Z Isaiah Miller out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. He'll be next up. The 69 powered by Dwayne Schneider out of Hancock, Maryland. And the 83 one-time feature winner Brian Kearns out of Cross Junction, Virginia. All right, everybody looking to beat that 22.097 set by the 1C of Steve Kent. Here comes our first driver to see what he can do. That'll be the 88Z of Isaiah Miller. 23.381. That will have Isaiah for the moment in the number 4 spot. Schneider in the 69, 24.682. And the 83, Brian Kearns. He'll tuck up into the number 2 spot, 22.570 for the Cross Junction, Virginia driver on lap number 1. Miller wraps it up. He'll go third, 22.859. Schneider in the 69, 23.607 will be his time. And the final lap for Kearns will have him second at 23.125. So right now, Steve Kent, Brian Kearns, Isaiah Miller, top 3 in our Simulate qualifying. 21 at Jason Stoner, next up on the racetrack right now, one-time feature winner. Hailing out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania, 25 at Jeremy Mills in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, and the 48 powered by Tony Hughley out of Frederick, Maryland. All right, late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. Late model Sportsman, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Stay high in 2, stay high in 2. Green, 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 green.
All right, green back out. Stoner in the 21. He got the green flag. 25 at Jeremy Mills coming back to the stripe for his green. So let's see what Stoner does. The one-time feature winner out of Mercersburg, PA. Back to the stripe, and Stoner will be second right now. 22.187. 48 of Hughley. 23.862. That will right now have him in the number 8 spot. All right, Mills at 25.714, and for Stoner, 22.238 on that second lap. That will keep him second to the 1C of Steve Kent. 48 of Hughley. He'll remain 8th, 25.821 at second lap time for the Frederick, Maryland driver. Again, late model Sportsman, heat race number 1. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. 25 of Mills wrapping up his qualifying time tonight, as a 65 of Dylan Wilson will be our final driver out. And as soon as that's wrapped up, we'll get into heat race action tonight. Late model Sportsmen, they'll have 3 sessions, which will be 8 laps in distance. Top 6 drivers are going to be transferring to those late model Sportsman heats, and a pair of pure stock heat events will follow. Well, been an up and down year, but leaning towards up for Dylan Wilson in that 65. He started the season off. He a bad wreck here on the front straightaway. But then the birth of a baby girl and a victory. And a few weeks ago, he had that baby in victory lane celebrating, so things are looking better. The driver out of Cassville, Pennsylvania, right now fourth on the board, 22.590. After lap number 1, all the 4 spots up top, they are the feature winners. Coming back to the stripe, Wilson trying to improve on that mark. And he'll remain fourth, 22.968 will be that second and final lap time. So the 1C of Steve Kent, he's going to go to the redraw here a little bit later on this evening. Also the 71 of Piper. A lot of drivers. You're talking about Devin Hart, Justin Weaver, some other strong names that are out there in the field tonight looking for their first late model sportsman win here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Going to be a great 35 lapper, and we're going to kick it off with the first 8-lap qualifying event. All right, green flag out. Zook will take him down into turn number 1 and 2. Atherton on the outside of row number 1. He'll claim second. Shoemaker right behind him in that 44 third. The battle for fourth right now. Cable to the inside of the Brian Benton machine with Brad Oms just behind him looking on. Zook quickly trying to grab a gear and pull away. Top qualifier tonight, and right now a 5, 6, 7 car length advantage here at the end of lap number 1. Atherton in second. He's got a couple. Trouble in turn 2. Oh, Mason Booz just able to get around to the inside. Brian Benton in the 32X spins it, and Booz barely able to sneak by. All right, field stacked up at 3 and 4, 2 wide as we get set for lap number 2 of tonight's late model sportsman first qualifier. Atherton trying to stick with Zook as best he can. He'll take that middle line. Zook will be down low as they work it off at 2. And again, Shoemaker gets a better bite this time off turn 2. Down bottom, but again, it's Atherton just by a little bit, holding on for that number 2 position for the moment. Zook again, clearly, right now, kicking out front of the field. Good 10 car lengths. He draws away. Atherton, Shoemaker, Cable, and Oms. They're the top 5. The transfer spot's going to be a little hairy. Piper's back there. Here comes Mason Booz to the inside. He wants a spot, and right now he's going to get it down the back straightaway. 32X event in the spinner on lap number 1. Still trying to make up some spots as Zook brings us back for lap number 3. So Piper right now will be 6th. Booz looked like he was going to have that spot. He drops back into the clutches of Brian Benton, and for the moment, Piper's got some breathing room. All the while up front, Shoemaker gets around Atherton off of turn number 4 for the number 2 spot. Danny fighting back on the inside of that 19 machine. And we go halfway here in qualifier number 1. 25K of Cable, about 3 car lengths back of that second place battle. That's still a good one. Atherton to the inside, Shoemaker up top, and Zook by about 3/4 of a turn advantage here on lap 5. Shoemaker now in second solidly. Give him about a 3 car length edge over Atherton. Cable looked like he was closing, but he's dropped back a little bit, still solidly in 4th. Brad Oms in the number 5 spot. Piper in the 71. For the moment, he's got the transfer position with 2 laps to go. Final lap and off turn 4, Ryan Zook continuing to bat 1,000 right now. Top qualifier and heat race winner of the first qualifying session. Mifflintown, Pennsylvania driver takes the victory. The 44 is Sean Shoemaker, 19 of Danny Atherton, 25K of Ray Cable, 5 of Brad Oms, and the 71 of Jacob Piper. They'll be the drivers transferring into tonight's 35 lap, $3,500 to win. Late model sportsman, Free State 35. In the field, again, that being Breeden and Moore in this heat race, and a lot of other strong competition. Still looking for victory number 1 in the 2025 season. TJ Myers, a 2-time winner here at the Speedway. 1 year ago. Still looking for that first victory of 2025 here at Hagerstown. Green flag in the air. Myers leads them to 1. Weaver quickly from the inside of row number 2 up into second. Going to be Breeden and Coots side by side. 3 wide behind them. Going to be Moore, Irvin, and Lear as they work in turn 3 and 4. A battle 2 wide, battle 3 wide, another 2 wide battle. The top 2 spots are single file. Everybody else is side by side. And all the while going to be DJ Myers with that lead. Weaver not letting him out of his sights. Only 3 car lengths back. Cody Breeden has won that battle for 3rd. Coontz will be 4th. Going to be Lear in 5th. And Irvin right now on the transfer spot in the 87X machine. But here comes Spike Moore working top shelf off turn number 4. Closing the gap up in 7th spot. Much tighter groupings right now in this second race, and Weaver still right at the tire tracks. And DJ Myers, 1 car length advantage. 3 laps will be complete this time by. Weaver looking down low. Myers for the moment has him covered. Going to be the 14 of Breeden, the 08 of Coontz, the 99 of Lear. And then as we mentioned, the transfer spot, that's heating up a little bit. Irvin's got it. Spike Moore wants it, and Bobby Beard not far behind. Meanwhile, back up front, here goes Weaver to the inside. He is working down bottom. Myers giving him plenty of racing room. Side by side for the number 1 spot as they come off at turn 4. And for the moment, Myers trying to pinch Weaver down. Weaver's going to get a great bite off turn number 2 and draw by the 70J down the back straightaway. All the while that battle has not allowed Cody Breeden the chance to catch up, and now Myers slips up in turn 3 and 4. Breeden is on the pedal and he's side by side with the Greencastle driver this time by. Lear holding on to 4th, the number 5 spot, still to Keith Coontz of the 87X of Eric Irvin. He has won that battle with Spike Moore. It was a lot tighter moments ago, but now a little breathing room for the driver at Petersburg, PA. 2 to go this time by. Going to be Weaver, Breeden, and Myers, the top 3. Everybody single file and stringing out just a little bit. And again, the battle for that transfer spot. Irvin about 5 car lengths over Spike Moore. Leaders coming back for the white flag. Justin Weaver, the Clear Spring, Maryland driver, just a few miles up the road. Also a driver that ran a lot of the Appalachian Mountain Speedway and did very well. And right now on this late model Sportsman machine, having himself a good run down the back straightaway. Breeden is 2nd, going to be Myers in 3rd, and that's how those top 3 are going to be when they come back to the stripe as Clear Springs, Justin Weaver claiming the 2nd late model Sportsman qualifier. Breeden, Myers, Cody Lear, and the 08, Keith Coontz. They'll be the top 5. 87X of Eric Irvin. He'll get the transfer spot here in the 2nd qualifier with the 11M one-time feature winner Spike Moore relegated to the LCQ.
All right, Hank, you start the race in the turn.
As they hit the Jesse James Automar at start zone, here we go with late model Sportsman qualifier number 3. Kirshner trying to get down to that bottom groove and cut off the 92 at Devin Hart. That gives Jeremy Pilkert in the lead by about 5 car lengths off of turn 2. Hart to the inside of Kirshner down the back straightaway. He'll get that number 2 position here in 3 and 4. Pilkert will be your leader of lap number 1. And trouble further back, the 2T of Trayton Lee spins it in turn 4. That will bring out an early caution here in our 3rd late model Sportsman qualifier. Here in our late model Sportsman 3rd and final heat race, Pilkert will be on the point. It's going to be the 92 of Devin Hart who is outside. 2+2 of Kirshner back there in 3rd spot. As Booz in the B2 will be on his outside. Up to the gearbox they go, and here comes Pilkert. He'll be the leader as they come back to the stripe. He'll hug down bottom. Devin Hart, he'll look to go top shelf and find some cushion up there, but Pilkert finds that bottom groove and opens up a 3-car length advantage down the back straightaway. Going to be Booz back in 3rd, Kirshner 4th, Bonebrake in 5th as Pilkert comes back for lap number 2. Very stout run in the early part of the year. He came in the first late model Sportsman point race. 2 races had already been run, but fended off a very impressive run by Kyle Lear. And right now, Jeremy Pilkert facing an even stronger field of cars tonight. The Lovell, Maryland driver back to the stripe for lap 3. Devin Hart in second. He's about 5-6 car lengths back. It's going to be the B2 of Brian Booz, the 2+2 of Cody Kirshner, 37 of Wes Bonebrake, and the 94 of Brandon Bard. But here comes Trayton Lee. He spun early. He's trying to get back off, or the outside looking in. He's trying to get back on the bubble for the moment and then move forward. And he'll draw side by side with Bard in turn number 4, and that's a key spot. That's the transfer right now. As the leaders make their way off in turn number 2, Pilkington still in charge at the halfway point. Hart within striking distance, about 10 car lengths back. Going to be Booz, Kirshner, and Bonebrake. A car length separation between those three. And then it's going to be Trayton Lee winning that battle with Brandon Bard moments ago, so he's in the number 6 position. 5 laps complete. They'll be looking at the 2 to go side when they come back to the stripe. Pilkington's lead about 6-7 car lengths as they work turn 3 and 4. Bonebrake and Kirshner, they have a little battle back there for 4th position. Brian Booz in the B2 for the moment 3rd. And Bonebrake's car coming to life a little bit late as he looks to the inside. He'll grab 4th, Kirshner back in 5th, and Trayton Lee in the number 6 spot. White flag in the air this time by for Jeremy Pilkington. Well, final lap, and the interval between those top 2 drivers really hadn't shrunk much, but Devin Hart still well within striking distance. Time running now, Pilkington running the middle groove, and Jeremy Pilkington collecting the 3rd late model Sportsman heat race win. 92 of Devin Hart, 2nd the B2 of Brian Booz, the 2+2 of Cody Kirshner, 37 of Wesley Bonebrake, and the 2T of Trayton Lee. They will be the 6 that transfer into tonight's 35-lap late model Sportsman main event. All right, field stacked up as we get set for the first of 2 5-lap qualifiers. LCQ for the late model Sportsman drivers will be coming up following this, and of course we do have the redraws that will also be coming up. And after that, it's going to be the invert on the front straightaway. So it looks like, I believe we take our top qualifiers, and then we have our first heat race winner. So kind of know who 2 of those drivers are. The next one's going to come from this bunch. And let's see what happens as Yonker grabs a lead early. Going to be Keith Reed down bottom. Nick Vogel out of Myersville, Maryland, making his first appearance of the year. He is on the outside. He had some mechanical issues in the warm-ups earlier. Necked into the 57, gets around him up into 3rd. Going to be Blake Reed up into 4th. As Yonker will lead lap number 1. Reed right in the tire tracks, and Yonker had a better line going through that 1-2 turn. That opens up about a 3-4 car length advantage as the 57 of Ekton, another one of those non-winners, but very strong competitors in pure stock action. Very solid 3rd. The 8B of Blake Reed likewise. He's come to life in the last couple of years and done very well. 66 of Dave Friedrich right behind them. Evenly spaced out for the front 5 machines as 2 of our 5 laps complete. To go, coming by for the first qualifier. Yonker by about 3-4 car lengths over Keith Reed. Again, a 2-time winner this year. Yonker pretty much averages a victory a year. Still looking for that first one this year. We mentioned Reed, he's a 3-time winner actually. Tyler Fisher and Evan Faust, the other winners in pure stock competition so far in 2025. Ekton to the 57, under attack by the 8B, Blake Reed, as the white flag comes out for Yonker this time by. And Ekton will stay up top. Reed digging down bottom, a little out of shape for the 8B. He'll gather it back up, and that gives Ekton the spot back once again. 66 of Friedrich right behind him in 5th as we look for the checkered flag at the first qualifier. The 31, Nathaniel Yonker, coming away with the heat race win. 8 of Keith Reed will be 2nd. 57 of Bill Ekton Jr., the 8B of Blake Reed, and the 66 of Dave Friedrich. They will be the top 5. The staging area. Durstocks getting set to come to the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone as we have our final 5-lap qualifier tonight. they'll jostle it up from second on back. Tight 5 right there as Tyler Fisher leads them 3 wide. Battle into turn number 1 and 2, and Dylan Beaver started in the back of the pack. He's already challenging for second. Fisher will be the leader. Going to be Beavers on the inside of Lincoln Sutphin with the 17 yellow Lindenberg right there. Tight 4 as they work off at turn number 4. Going to be Fisher, the leader of lap number 1. Beavers trying to thread the needle right up through the middle. 3 wide. Lindenberg down to the bottom, and going to be Lincoln Sutphin on the high side in turn number 1. Sutphin going way wide up into the marbles and avoids contact, but he will lose all the spots as Lindenberg and Beavers continue a good battle, and that is not giving Fisher any breathing room. They're right on the back of the 32F as they come back for lap number 2. Right now, Tyler Fisher in front. Beavers now, he'll take the top side. Lindenberg down to the bottom in that 17L. Going to be Savell in the 42 back in 4th. 12 and David Thompson, top 5, followed by Sutphin in the 45, and the leaders all tight together as Beavers and Lindenberg close right up on Fisher in turn 3 and 4 with 2 laps to go. Everybody in the same lane, almost right up by the cushion. Fisher trying to see what he can do to fend off 2 of the top ones. Lindenberg still looking for a victory likewise. Here goes Beavers down to the inside, challenging for the number 1 spot. Can't quite make the pass. White flag in the air this time by. Beavers not done. He's trying that bottom line. He may get a good enough bite down bottom, and he draws even with the 32 down the back straightaway. Slight advantage on the stretch to Fisher, but as they go back into 3 and 4, Beavers tries to draw ahead. They are dead even as they come off at turn number 4 to the outside. Tyler Fisher coming away with the heat race victory. Great battle for those top 3 machines. Fisher and that 32F coming away with the checkered flag in the second and final qualifier. The 62, your point leader Dylan Beavers winding up in second.
With the 42.
All right, once again, 8 laps going to be the distance in our late model Sportsman LCQ. Top 6 drivers will transfer in. Again, the V2X Mason Booz, the 11 of Spike Moore up front, 94 of Brandon Bard, and the 32X of Brian Benton. They'll be back in row 2. The 12 of Bobby Beard, the 000 Matt Naylor, 27 of Lee Ziegler, and the 81 of Jimmy Jesmer. 6 will make it, 2 unfortunately will not as we get set to go. 8 laps of distance in our LCQ. Mason Booz will check out to that early lead. Spike Moore and trying to fight his way in. He'll go to the outside to Brandon Bard in the 94 down the back chute. Bobby Beard back in the number 4 spot. Brian Benton in 5th, and then side by side for the bubble. That'll be the 27 is Ziegler. He bobbles a little bit. Naylor looked like he had him with the 000. Goes way wide. That gives Jimmy Jesmer in the 81 a spot. As the top 5 pretty much right there together. Going to be Booz by 2 car lengths over Bard. Moore in 3rd. Now side by side between Benton and Beard. '27 is Ziegler right now. He has got the transfer spot, but Jimmy Jesmer on the move, and he will take advantage of Ziegler washing up the banking. And as a result, not only gets the number 6 spot, but a breathing room as well. 3 will be on the board this time by for Mason Booz in the V2X. Bard and Moore have had a pretty good battle for that number 2 position. They've gone back and forth. For the moment, it's Bard up in the high groove. Going to be Moore down low. Bobby Beard still holding on to 4th. Ben in the number 5 spot. Here comes Jesmer. He grabs a gear, gets a little bit of bite off that tire down low, and he'll challenge to get himself off the transfer spot. Halfway this time by. Top 4 drivers have checked out as it's Brian Benton holding on to the number 5 position. Jimmy Jesmer again trying to get off that transfer position. He may do it. Power move on the outside as he goes by. And tries to get up into 5th. And not long ago, Brandon Bard was fending off Spike Moore. Now he's on the attack. A couple of weeks ago, very good run for the driver of the 94. Here goes Bard to the outside. Powers by Booz down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go, and Brandon Bard, for the moment, your new leader. But here comes Booz fighting back on the inside. Moore in third, Beard in fourth. They're watching the battle side by side, and Bard does get it. Down in 3 and 4. Booz remains down to the bottom side. Going to be Bard in that middle groove as he comes back for the white flag. So again, Moore in third, Beard fourth, Jimmy Jesmer, the number 5 spot, and Brian Benton, he's on the bubble. This is the final lap. Lee Ziegler had a shot, but the 27 not quite close enough. Having a little struggle through turn number 1 and 2. Checkered is about to go out. Going to be the 94 of Brandon Bard. Transferring in via the LCQ. Mason Booz, Spike Moore, Bobby Beard, Jimmy Jesmer, and Brian Benton will be your final 6 to make it in tonight's 35-lap, $3,500 to win late model Sportsman feature event. All right, let's see. We're going to start with our pure stock heat race winner of number 1 heat race. That's the 31, Nathaniel Yonker. You know, I've always told you you're good for at least 1 victory a year. I don't mean the heat race. I mean the feature. 2 years I've been here so far, you've got that victory. Tonight?
I hope so. We've done a lot of work to the car.
Well, Keith always puts on a good battle out there. How'd the car feel in this portion of the night as far as the track and the conditions for you and everything?
Very good so far.
All right. Well, you got a 15-lapper. A lot of racing is going to be coming up before you get out there. Nathaniel, go ahead and roll it. See what kind of invert number we're going to have here in the Pure Stock feature event tonight. There you go. He said, give me a 1. You got a 1. Nathaniel, good luck tonight, bud.
Thank you.
All right. Nathaniel Yonker. Would tonight be the night? He might get that win. Hey, where were you a few weeks ago?
Man, I was on vacation.
And you didn't take us. We were struggling here at the racetrack. We had to work. How come you get off? How come you get so lucky?
Well, I had such a points lead. I figured I'd tighten it up. Now I only have 5-point lead. So.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. There'll be some tight competition. So, all right, you think people are rooting for you to get that number 1 since you bailed on us a few weeks ago and you weren't here? No, we won't do that to you. Steve Kent, by the way, the 1C, been a good season so far, good qualifying effort. How much do you think the track will change from the time you were out there in that sunshine to the first race coming up here in just a little bit? Think pretty much about the same?
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, where the sun 1 and 2 is definitely hurt a little more than 3 and 4, so we'll see. You know.
All right. You feel lucky? You feel strong? You ready to roll it? All right, Steve, go ahead and do it. Steve Kent. 2-time feature winner in simulate action this year. Looking to see what the invert's going to be in our 15-lapper coming up tonight. And look at that number 1. So both Yonker and Kent, they're in good shape. Drawing the number 1 or rolling it. Steve, glad to see you back here. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks, sir. We'll get it done.
All right, Steve Kent and the 1C machine as we get set. Folks, we'll take a brief intermission. Give everybody a chance to catch their breath, especially this young man. I see you've been traveling quite a bit. Hidden Valley last night?
No,
I thought I saw you at Hidden Valley.
no, that wasn't me. That was one of my guys, Norm Cobb.
All right, Appalachian Speedway, though.
That was definitely me.
How wet did you get?
Most of the time, we were lucky enough that they called it before we actually got there. We didn't actually get into the racing and then get dumped on very often. So I didn't get very wet myself.
Well, we're talking to Jason Walls with WRT Media. Jason does a great job with all the photography at all the racetracks, including Hagerstown Speedway. Albert's suffering up there. The sun finally went down. Now we just got to fight the humidity. But you guys do a fantastic job promoting not only the sport of racing here at Hagerstown, but all the different racetracks we go. And I know I've never had the chance to talk to you, but on behalf of everyone here at Hagerstown and everybody in motorsports, thanks for what you provide to all of us on social media and everything you do.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody that supports us, because we couldn't do this if we didn't have the support of the racers and the fans and people like you.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. Jason Walls with WRT Media. Hey, once again, be sure to check out Albert's post on the WRT. He works hard when he gets home at night. First thing in the morning, he's putting everything together for the videos of all the races. So check it out sometime late morning every week on Sundays and recap some of the Hagerstown Speedway action. Green is out. Jason Stoner in that 21, working that high group, and Steve Kent tucked down low. He'll grab the lead down the back straightaway. As he mentioned during the redraw, he took a weekend off. He had a very strong lead in the semi-late points, and it's down to 5 right now as he comes back to try and regroup and see if he can stack up some more points tonight. Right now, he's the leader of lap number 1. Stoner in second. Kearns, the one-time winner of the 83, working that high line back in third. 65 of Wilson, 4, 3D of Shane McQuay. Right now, the early top 5. 4 of Jason Richards right now, or Justin Michael, excuse me. He is in that number 6 position, challenging for a top 5 run here with 2 laps complete. Oh, Kearns a little high off at 2. That opened the door for Wilson to pull that 65 down to the bottom side and into third position. But here comes Kearns right back after him. That's a very tight battle for the number 3 position on the track, the biggest battle and best right now. Michael in that number 4. He did get around McQuay. He's top 5 right now. McQuay back to the number 6 spot. Then going to be the 69 of Dwayne Schneider, followed by Isaiah Miller, and the 48 powered by Tony Hughley. 25 of Jeremy Mills in the 10th spot as they come back for lap number 4. Things settling down a little bit. Stoner is still within striking distance of Ken. Maybe about 5 or 6 car lengths. Can't quite close the deal as we hit the 1/3 mark in tonight's first 15-lap main event. This for the semi-late machines. Wilson got around Kearns moments ago, but they stay a very tight 3rd and 4th. And slowing on the front straightaway, the 69 of Dwayne Schneider as he limps it down into turn number 1 as we get set for put lap number 6 on the board. And keep an eye on Schneider as he limps it down to that 1-2 turn to see if he can make that left-hander into the pit area. And will indeed, will stay green flag racing. 5 car length separation for the top 2. Again, the battle for 3rd. It's been the best of the night. 65 of Wilson. Kearns trying to cross over, trying to look high and low. He is sizing up the 3rd place car, and meanwhile Jason Stoner has closed the gap on Steve Kent. They'll close in on the Jeremy Mills machine. Stoner's found something to his liking, and for the moment closed up just a little bit, and now Kent opens it back up as he work it down to the inside of Jeremy Mills down in turn 3 and 4. That lap machine gives him plenty of racing room. 8 laps on the board as we are halfway in tonight's semi-late main event. Trouble in turn number 4. Looks like it's going to be the 48 of Tony Hughley. And caution will be out on the speedway here at lap number 8 at the halfway point. And then Kearns and Wilson. We will see who's got what preferred line. Everybody's car is working pretty darn good there in those front 4 machines. Michael in that number 4 having a good solid run in 5th. 3B of Shane McQuay will be on his outside of row number 3 as we get set for the second half of tonight's semi-late event. It'll be Kent leading him down into 1 and 2. He'll be hugging that bottom side. Stoner trying to make the high side work for him, but Kent really has got that car hooked up down bottom. Again, Kearns and the 65, but Dylan Wilson renew their battle for the 3rd spot. For the moment, Kearns to the inside. He'll get 3rd. Here comes Stoner on the outside. Got some good momentum. He'll draw up alongside part of the 1C of Steve Kent. He'll continue to keep it wound up on the outside and see if he can make that work. And right now, Stoner with a good line, but Kent working down low off turn number 2. He'll maintain the number 1 spot by a car length. Kearns wins the battle with Wilson. He'll pull away by a few car lengths as Stoner again continues to work the outside. 3 and 4, really good for Stoner. He'll grab the lead off turn number 4. 5 laps to go here in tonight's feature event. Stoner, the one-time winner. 6 different drivers have found their way to victory lane, and the front 4 machines all responsible for wins so far this year. Kent and Stoner side by side, but again, this end of the racetrack, Stoner owns it a little bit better. Right now, that 21 beginning to surge in that high groove and opens up about a 2-car length advantage here at lap number 11. 83 of Kearns, a 65 of Wilson, and the 4 of Justin Michael. They are the top 5. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, your main event is next. Gentlemen, we need you to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers, for your main event to the staging area, please. Well, once in front, Kent not letting him go and kind of runs that similar line as Stoner does. That's a car length and a half separation with 3 to go this time by. Things were working well in 1 and 2 for Kent, but down in 3 and 4, Stoner really had that car dialed in, and right now the 21 holds a 3-car length advantage. Kearns of the 83. Still within shouting distance, but the laps are winding down. 2 to go this time off turn 4. Stoner continuing to work the high line. Kent chooses to go back down bottom, and he bobbled a little bit. He lost valuable time that time off that second turn, and that may be his undoing. The 21 of Stoner continuing in that middle to high groove as he works it back to the white flag here in tonight's Simulate event. Final time around, and again, the 83 of Brian Kearns had been closing up that gap, but may not be close enough to make one more challenge. 65 of Wilson, the 4 of Michael, they are the top 5. As Jason Stoner looks to check in for victory number 2, he'll do it in the 21 machine as Stoner takes his second of the season. Kent, the 2-time winner in second. 83 of Brian Kearns, 65 of Dylan Wilson, and the 4 of Justin Michael, they will make up the top 5. And it was tonight in that high groove. There he is, Jason Stoner, checking in for his second Simulate win of 2025 here at Hagerstown Speedway. You know, that was fun to watch because obviously we know Steve's very good, but we know you're very good. And that high groove really worked well for you. It seemed like 3 and 4 was really your strength turn. That really looked like it was doing well for you.
Yeah, I was trying to debate when I wanted to get up beside him because I didn't want him to move up, and it's because I knew he'd lock it down on me. But yeah, I think I timed it pretty good. That was fun right there.
Steve was pretty persistent, staying in that low groove, but once you got around him, when he got down into 1 and 2, he started following your path, but still just didn't seem like it was working for him, and he went back down bottom. What was the key tonight? I mean, the track just seemed like it was in excellent shape. It looked like you guys really had a good time out there.
It was more about slow down, hit your marks, run the race that you're running, not worry about everybody else.
Victory number 2 on the season. I know you can rack them up when you get on a roll. You're a dangerous driver. What happened a few weeks ago? I know we had you out here for the early part of the night, but you weren't able to make it out for the feature. What nailed you a few weeks back?
We had the rear problem, so it broke the housing, and we just parked it. It didn't do no damage, but we had to change the housing. But that was all it was. We were going to run it, but we're like, no, it's not worth it. We'll come back again to live another day.
Well, and you certainly did, being one of the best in the business. So again, a very good Simulate matchup. Jason, who would you like to thank this evening?
I got to thank my family. I got to thank Charlie Lay. I mean, I say this every time I'm in here, but it's a God's honest truth. If it wasn't for him, there's no way I'd be sitting in victory lane because I don't have enough smarts about me. He's got all the smarts. So, but my family, my mom, my dad, my uncles are here. Nick's here. Today's my second granddaughter's birthday, and we had a third grandchild on Tuesday, so it's a pretty damn good week.
Absolutely. Well, Dylan Wilson celebrated with a new baby in victory lane a few weeks ago, so it's good to hear about that as well. I know you said he was a very smart man, but it takes a good wheelman, and by golly, you put that. He gave you what you needed, and you did the other half of the job. Congratulations on a great win.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate all the fans coming out. I know our class is, slowly growing a couple more cars, but it's a good class to be in. So.
Absolutely, and Jason Stoner's a big part of that. Jason Stoner, your second win of the season in the Simulates here at Hagerstown.
Which proves some very good cars and good car count. Well, we don't have that anymore.
So it was decided to create a Free State 35 event. This is the first of its nature this year. And $3,500 is going to the winner tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. 28 cars, a very, very talent-laden field as they get lined up through the staging area on the back straightaway, and here is how they're going to start. Tonight, the top qualifier, heat race winner, the 28Z, Ryan Zook, out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. He'll be on the pole.
right, guys, we're going to do a 4-wide salute. So 5 and 08, you're going to split the field. 5 inside, 5 inside. Everyone follow the 5. 08 outside, 08 outside. Everyone follow in. 37, go in. 37, go in. 37, go in.
Those race cars. Fans, get on your feet and wave your favorite late model Sportsman driver on. They're here for you tonight. It's the Free State 35.
Mikey, Hagerstown crew, great job tonight as always. You have provided, as we saw in that simulate race, some great 2 and 3 wide racing. We're about to see some great late model Sportsman action. The best in the business in the region, taking the green flag in the Free State 35. Ryan Zook takes a lead. Weaver spins it, and we got contact. Wow, that could have been a lot worse. 19 of Danny Atherton may have made some contact as well. 2 other drivers involved, but Weaver spinning high off at turn number 2. Tough break for the Clear Spring, Maryland driver. All right, field stacked up on the back straightaway. Now by virtue of Weaver's incident, that puts the 44 Shoemaker up on the outside. Going to be the 8 of Pilkerton. He's on the inside of row number 2 as we get set for the restart. 92 at Devin Hart joins Pilkerton back there. Green flag back in the air. Restart number 1 as we come back to the stripe, being brought to you by Jesse James Auto Mart. It'll be Zook grabbing that lead. Pilkerton in a low line. He'll go to the inside of Shoemaker and grab that number 2 spot. Devin Hart trying to stay in his tire tracks. Shoemaker not done. He wants to fight it back on the outside. Shoemaker way wide off turn number 3 and 4, and he'll reclaim the number 2 spot. Pilkerton back into 3rd. Hart in 4th. Kirshner making Breeden. He is pushing that 92 all the way down into turn number 1 and 2. Putting some good pressure on the Devin Hart machine. All the while, here goes Pilkerton and Shoemaker. They're back at it, hammer and tong for the number 2 spot. And again, a mirror image of what we saw in the heat race. Ryan Zook checking out. Shoemaker reclaims that spot. Pilkerton back in 3rd. Hart and Breeden, the top 4. Going to be Brian Booz back in the number 6 spot. 7th to DJ Myers. 8th on the track is Cody Lear. 9th to Ray Cable, the 3rd. And the top 10 early, made up by the 2T, powered by Trayton Lee. Lap number 3 about to go on the board this time by. We mentioned Zook and also Shoemaker. They were involved in a very hefty battle last year. Bobby Beard's number 12 pulls it off into the pits, as does the 81 of Jimmy Chesmer. And neither one of these drivers, getting back to talking about Zook and Shoemaker, were able to score a feature event victory in 2024 in that battle for the championship. Wesley Bonebrake was also a part of that. So these two are leading the way. Jeremy Pilkerton already scored a victory earlier this year. He's now working the high groove at turn number 3 and 4. A lot of drivers pushing up high. 14 of Cody Breeden won the battle with Devin Hart moments ago. And now hard on to attack by the B2 of Brian Booz, who works down to the bottom. 70J. DJ Myers also trying to challenge, and caution quickly comes out. 25K of Ray Cable coming to a stop here on the front straightaway. All right, green flag back in the air. Restart at lap number 6 of tonight's Late Model Sportsman main event. Zook again taking him down into 1 and 2, and Cody Breeden on the move. Here he goes to the outside of Pilkerton, but Pilkerton's going to use some low side momentum and close up, and almost got dicey. Breeden got into the back of the 44. Shoemaker had to check up, and Pilkerton was right there likewise. Everybody stays straight off turn 3 and 4. Right behind Pilkerton, here comes Devin Hart. And also the B2 of Brian Booz, 70J of DJ Myers. He's also in the hunt. Good battle from 4th on back, make it 5th, and give that spot to Hart. Breeden again, that 525 motor won him a race a couple of weekends ago. That was his first career late model sportsman win. Driver celebrating a 20th birthday tomorrow. I'd like to see if he can get an early birthday present in his second victory of the season. Working hard on the 44 Shoemaker, and right now Breeden's got the preferred line down bottom off of turn number 2. Draws within a half a car length. Meanwhile, Pilkington holding on to fourth, but DJ Myers is on the charge. He got around Booz. He also got around Devin Hart. That 70J is cooking off of turn number 4. Nine laps will be complete when they come back to the stripe. Breeden with a better run on Shoemaker. He gets around him to the inside and up into the number 2 spot. Myers, meanwhile, he follows suit down to the bottom inside of Pilkington, who goes way high in turn 3 and 4 right on the cushion, and that will give Pilkington at least the breathing room in the number 4 spot for the moment. Ryan Zook all the while has had himself a healthy lead of about 15 car lengths. We'll see what happens with Cody Breeden as a new number 2. Shoemaker dropping into third, about 3 car lengths back. And it's going to be Myers and Pilkington having their ongoing battle for the number 5 position. It's going to be Myers to the inside. Actually, that's going to be for 4th. Pilkington 5th, Booz in 6th, Brad Thompson 7th. Devin Hart dropping back into 8th. Spike Moore holding on to the number 9 spot. Top 10 made up by your point leader, Wesley Bonebreak. So we are about to hit the 1/3 mark of tonight's late model sportsman event. 11 in the books right now with Ryan Zook in control. Normally 20 laps for the late model sportsmen, and it would be in the second half of their event. They've got a ways to go in tonight's 35 lapper is a 71 at Jacob Piper. Not been his night. The driver out of Mercersburg, PA, had transponder issues during qualifying and just never really able to get on track. Something wrong with that car as he pulls it into the pit area. 28 of Zook remains a leader, but the 14 of Breeden is mounting the challenge. He is closing down about 5 or 6 car length separation. 44 is Shoemaker in third. We'll watch and see if Myers, who won the battle with Pilkington, can close that gap up on him as well. B2 of Brian Booz, he remains back there in the number 6 spot. 7th to the 5 of Brad Omps, the Winchester driver, having a great run right now. And after him, going to be the 92 with Devin Hart, followed by Spike Moore and Wesley Bonebreak. Nothing really changing in that top 10 as the leaders make their way back for lap number 14. Still about 5, 6 car length separation, but if it stays green a little bit longer, a lap or 2, we're going to be looking at back markers in the field, and that's where it could be the challenge for Ryan Zook. Breeden bearing down as he closes in. They got Brian Benton, they got Eric Irvin, and others coming up in front of them. And that gap changed. Zook changed his line at 1 and 2, and it's down to 2 car length separation for the 28Z. Breeden now running a different line, and he is right on the rear deck lid as they come back to the stripe. Lap number 16 on the board here in tonight's late model sportsman Free State 35. Breeden looking to the inside. Zook has been having some troubles through that turn, and Cody Breeden goes to the lead, looking for his second straight and second overall late model sportsman win, but Zook fighting right back to the inside. Cody Breeden, he'll lead lap 17 here in tonight's late model sportsman main event. 44 of Sean Shoemaker remains in third. 70J of DJ Myers holding on to fourth. And again, the 8 of Jeremy Pilkington. He's top 5 right now. Brian Booz in the B2 beginning to challenge him. He wants a top 5 run. Leaders working lap traffic. Breeden about 2 car lengths advantage as he works off turn number 4. Lap number 18. He'll work to the outside of the Brian Benton machine. And then he's got a host of cars. Brandon Bard, Cody Lear, Trayton Lee, and also the 87X of Eric Irvin. But right now he continues to stretch that advantage out even though working some lap markers in the field. Just past the halfway point here in tonight's late model sportsman Free State 35. We put 19 on the board. This time by Pilkington almost loses it high in 3 and 4. Gathers it back up at the Brian Booz machine. The V2 going around him. That will put him up into the number 6 position. Make it top 5 with Pilkington back in 6 now. Brad Thompson 7th. 92 with Devin Hart. The 11M of Spike Moore. They are the top 9 machines. Right behind them, the 2+2 of Cody Kirshner. Well, Breeden having things work his own way right now. He's working inside, outside of lap traffic as he continues to stretch that advantage out. Got around Eric Irvin moments ago, now to the inside of the Trayton Lee machine. He's got 2 more to beat and negotiate. That would be Cody Lear and Brandon Bard, and after that, a little breathing room. But he still has a good lead of about a quarter straightaway over Ryan Zook. 44 Shoemaker, a 70 J.M. Myers, and the B2 of Booz. They are the top 5. 22 laps complete this time by. Pilkington, the 8 machine, fading a little bit. He was 6. Brad Thompson, the number 5, looking to his inside as Pilkington trying to run that cushion. And Omps down to the low side as they work it back to the stripe. And also on the other side of the racetrack as they came by, Cody Breeden into 14 has now cleared a couple of more lap machines and has a lot of breathing room. 11 laps to go here in the Free State 35. 28 of Zook has got 4 lap machines to get around and a lot of work to do. The 44 Shoemaker has been closing up, and Zook is going to be hurt by lap traffic a little bit. Had to hit the binders on the Trayton Lee machine. 70 of DJ Myers, still a very solid 4th position. Top 5 made up by the B2 of Brian Booz. 10 to go as they come back to the stripe. Trouble for Cody Breeden. Up in smoke in turn 3 and 4. Your leader up in turn number 4. Noticed some smoke moments ago. Looked like someone came out of the front, and the 14, a tough break for the Fairplay Maryland driver.
All right, driver, green flag next time around. 28, you start the race. 26 laps down, 9 to go. 26 down, 9 to go.
All right, green back out of the air with 9 circuits to go here in tonight's Late Model Sportsman main event. Ryan Zook again takes him back down in the corner. He has seen that number 1 position all night long. Shoemaker in 2nd. Brian Booz got around Myers moments ago. We mentioned he has been so close to a Late Model Sportsman victory this year. And right now, he is close again. Myers back there in the number 4 spot. Pilkington going wide. Brad Omps to the number 5. He's right there. He grabs another position. Omps coming to life to the inside of DJ Myers. Devin Hart's there. Spike Moore, Keith Kuntz. Very good battle from 4th on back. A lot of 2x2 racing as Ryan Zook continuing to check out. Lap 28 about to go on the board this time by. Myers trying to reclaim what he lost from Booz moments ago, but Booz has got him covered, and Omps does go to 5th over Pilkington. Five laps to go when they come back to the stripe, and Ryan Zook's car has just not changed from the time he took it off that trailer. At 28Z has been strong as he works it back to the stripe. Lap number 30 on the board of 35. 44 is Shoemaker. Again, a good 6-7 car lengths back to the number 2 spot. Still a good comfortable advantage over Brian Booz. DJ Myers going way wide. That will give Brad Omps another spot late in the event. He'll move up into 4th. Myers to 5th. Pilkington 6th. Devin Hart back in 7th. Spike Moore in 8th. Keith Kuntz 9th. And the 2+2 of Cody Kirshner. They make up the top 10. Some 2x2 racing outside the top 5. Pilkington fending off Hart. And then likewise for Spike Moore over the 08 machine of Keith Kuntz. Everybody pretty well strung out down the back straightaway, and the only driver that's trying to grab something late in the event going to be the 8 of Pilkington, and he closes up on the 7 to Myers, trying to get a top 5 run tonight as Zook goes back to the stripe for lap number 32. Ryan Zook has opened that lead up more and more. About a quarter of a turn advantage. 2 laps to go in tonight's Free State 35 for the Mifflintown, Pennsylvania driver, Ryan Zook. Just back behind them, Jeremy Pilkington trying to hold on to 6. Devin Hart, the 92, is right on that rear deck lid. Followed by the 11 Emma Spike Moore. But focusing on the leaders, we mentioned a year ago, Ryan Zook in a very tight battle with Shoemaker and also Wesley Bonebrake for the Late Model Sportsman Championship, and never able to seal the deal earlier this year. He came to the Speedway. Kyle Lear picked up a victory. Zook was leading early, but just couldn't quite hold on to it. And this is as good as it has gotten for that 28Z machine. White flag was in the air that time by. 1 set of turns left to go. It has been a perfect night, and Ryan Zook claiming the first ever Free State 35 here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Ryan Zook, your winner tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway.
Fans, there he is, giving up our 7th different late model sportsman winner and the first ever Free State 35 winner, Ryan Zook out of Mifflintown. Hey, boy, that water felt good. Ryan, I tell you, let's see. I think the last time I was able to talk to you was we were here on the straightaway at the end of the season. You, Wesley, and Sean had a great battle all season long for the championship. Denied wins, Sean as well. This year, this season started out, you had a couple of races here. You and Kyle Leary had good battles. Still couldn't get it. Cody got around you, and you had to wonder, it's not my night again. But I want to tell you, things did work in your favor there, but this car was about as good as it could get, I have to believe.
Yeah, we weren't no good on those long runs. You know, you really hate for that to happen, you know, the way it did. But I have a love-hate relationship with this place. Man, I think we come down here first time about 10 years ago, and I mean, I've loved this place since I ever started coming. But I'll tell you, it's a humbling sport. Let me tell you. I mean, we have been horrible. I mean, just bad. Knocked the front end off the other week here. I think this is the momentum we need. Hopefully we can keep it going. We got another big race coming next weekend. Just glad this is the night we can pull it off.
Well, it definitely was impressive. Anything really changed with the car? I mean, you added a trailer. That thing was great. Top qualifier. Had a very convincing heat race victory, and tonight, with the exception of eventually losing that lead, car was very strong all night. It just seemed like everything was riding on rails. Much changing that you had to do from segment to segment?
Not a ton. I mean, you know, when you're running a show like this, you know, we're the bigger class. We change the track more than anybody. We changed some stuff there. We didn't want to go too far, but I knew when the green flag dropped, we were entirely too good to last 35 laps. You know, I mean, props to Cody. He was on rails. I wouldn't have had anything for him. You know, I hate to see that happen to a guy, but you know, this all costs money, and we all work for them. So that's not good.
Ryan, who would you like to thank for this great effort tonight?
Oh, for sure. Oh, God. First, I got to thank Zimmerman Truck Line, Zimmerman Truck Repair, Dryden, Adair Trucking, JZ Enterprise, Zook's Tax Service, Terra Farm, O-Hub, Zimmerman Estates, Duke Reed Ammunition, Penske by JDS. You know, he's able to talk us down a lot. We do a lot of dumb things, and we rely on him a lot to make phone calls. And then, of course, the guys in the shop, Dad, Dusty, Bill, Spitter. We got a new guy on board this year. He's a diehard. He loves it. Corey, Grandpa comes. My fiance, she puts up with a ton. You know, I'm never home. And she takes it, so I will keep coming back and keep trying more.
Well, I appreciate it because when you threw the water out, I got a little splash of it. On a hot, humid night, that had to feel good. You probably lost a few pounds out there tonight. But, Ryan, it's so good to see you. We were rooting for you all season long last year. That was a great battle for drivers that could not find their way to victory lane. You were top shelf drivers all year long. It was only a matter of time. Congratulations. Tonight is your night.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Ryan Zook, Free State 35, late model sportsman winner tonight here at Hagerstown.
All right, green flag this time, drivers 31, you start the race.
Two laps complete here in our 15-lap pure stock finale. Nathaniel Yonker holding a good lead, but caution will be coming out off at turn number 2. A couple of outside invaders. Last year, Logan Schuhart came away with the victory. He had a break from the Outlaw Trail and came in and scored the victory in the Pennsylvania Sprint Speed Week race here in Hagerstown. Saggy Tribute rescheduled for July the 12th. That's a Saturday night. Be sure to keep that on your calendar. Next event for super late models as we get set to go back to green for pure stocks. Three wide down the back straightaway, and Keith Reed threading that needle right up through the middle. In between the 62 of Dylan Beavers and the 57 of Ecton. 31 of Yonker. He isn't able to escape this battle as he comes back to the stripe. Lap number 3 going on the board. It'll be Reed now in second spot. Ecton, that 57, he's had some very solid runs. 62 of Beavers there right there, side by side for third. 17L Randy Lindenberg making up the top 5. Tyler Fisher back in 6th spot. Safel and Friedrich side by side. In for 7th as the leaders come back off at turn number 4. 2x2 racing. Here goes Keith Reed to the inside, trying to challenge Yonker for the lead at lap 4. Sliding up a little bit in front of the 31. Good move by Keith Reed off of that second turn. Meanwhile, that battle for third still a good side-by-side event. 62 of Beavers down bottom, Ecton up top. Lindenberg looking on. Friedrich winning the battle with the 32F of Fisher. And that will move him up into the number 6 spot. Fisher back in 7th. Nick Vogel in 8th. Safel 9th. Blake Reed in 10th. As the leaders make their way back into the 1-2 turn with 5 of 15 on the board. Well, Dave Friedrich having a good run. Got around Fisher moments ago. Now challenging Lindenberg at a 66, trying to get to the inside and get a top 5 run tonight. As Keith Reed, the 3-time winner, brings it back to the stripe. Yonker in 2nd. Ecton won that battle with Beavers. He holds on to 3rd. And again, the battle on for 4th. Going to be Friedrich making 5th. to the inside of Lindenberg with Fogel and Fisher right behind him. Halfway that time by for K3, the number 8 machine, looking to see if he can pad that win list and also climb up the standings. 31 of Yonker comfortably in second. Ecton about 2 car lengths over Beavers. Friedrich having a good run in that 66 machine. Dave started back to the inside of row number 5 in that number 9 spot, so he's had a good run tonight. 17 Ella Lindenberg under attack by Fogel. That one machine looking to his inside as the leaders head down the back straightaway. When they come back, it'll be 5 laps to go. Well, things settling down in the top 5 or 6 spots. Moments ago, Fogel got around the 17L of Randy Lindenberg. And behind them, Lindenberg now feels the pressure by Fisher and also Savell. Those two are running side by side as Reed heads it off into the 3-4 turn. Lap number 12 about to go on the board. Savell, the only one making a move further back in the field. He goes up into 7th around the Lindenberg machine. And lap 12 hits key 3 this time by. Two to go that time by. Top 2 are clearly out in front, and Reed's got a very good lead over Yonker. Acting in the 57, another solid performance on a Saturday night here at Hagerstown. 66 of Friedrich may have one more shot left on a position. He is closing in on the 62 of Beavers. White flag is in the air this time by. Down the backstretch, final time, K3, defending Pure Stock champion, looking for victory number 4, and he will claim it. The Hagerstown product, checking in for another Pure Stock win. It's K3, 31 of Nathaniel Yonker will come home in 2nd spot. 31, Nathaniel, Dylan Beavers, or make it Bill Ecton. He'll wind up 3rd. 62 of Beavers in 4th, and the 66, Dave Friedrich. Once again, very good run for the Greencastle PA driver. Started 9th, finished in the number 5 spot. Well, race fans, that will wrap it up for our Saturday night show. We thank you for enduring some hot temperatures and then a very humid night here at Hagerstown. But again, some great racing out there. Folks, as you're heading out, put your hands together. Keith Reed, your Pure Stock winner tonight. We had a vote in the tower. I said, I don't know what to say to this man anymore. He wins all the time. So, well, I had, you know what? There's a good place down in Leonardtown where I live. It's called T&J's Cove. So I went there for the first time. And I love crab balls. I didn't get a crab cake sandwich. I got fried shrimp, but I got crab balls. She says, do you want 5 or 12? I got 12. Dude, these suckers were big. I was miserable for the rest of the day. But we're going to change things up for the first half of this conversation. We're going to have Keith Reed ask Buddy Long a question. You can interview me instead of me interviewing you. Go ahead. Hold the microphone, too.
Well, Buddy, it's been a couple weeks since we've been here. What can you tell me about the track?
From what I saw, track looks great. I don't know, hot, humid night. It looked like you guys were having a ball out there racing no matter what. Semi-lates, the late model sportsmen, and even you guys. Nathaniel's always a tough customer, but it just seemed like you, when it was time, you pressed the button and there you went.
Well, the car was pretty good tonight. Track was a little tricky in the corners, but there was a little bit on the bottom, a little bit up top. That was a hornet's nest in front of them. Just praise God that we got past it.
Now, is it slick? Is it really slick tonight? I mean, I know it's very humid and going down the steps, which I know they're aluminum compared to the dirt down here. It's slick. Is it slick out on the racetrack?
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, Mother Nature wasn't too kind, but we got another one in. We got some brutal weather coming. You're probably going to be a little happy that you're going to be off next week because I think she's going to really be scorching next week and you can get a break. I got to work next Saturday up here, but we'll find a time. You know what? We had 2 weeks off. You could have come down. I'm not gonna bring seafood up the road 3 hours. I need you to come down and sit in an authentic Southern Maryland seafood restaurant with me.
You know, there's a place in Baltimore, it's called Timbuktu, okay? Phenomenal crab cakes. And if you want those things shipped, they will put those things in dry ice and ship them to you.
Sounds good.
How about we have them?
All right, we're gonna have them sooner or later. That's my promise to you. Great job once again tonight. I don't know what else to say because that car is on rails out there, but you do a phenomenal job. It's always some good, clean racing. You got some other ones that are back there that are still fighting pretty good. Bill Acton and Dylan Beavers. Boy, they were having a good battle side by side. 66 of Dave Friedrich. He was coming on strong late in the event. You just have a little bit more than everybody else, but boy, the hounds are trying to close in on you.
We're still tuning on it. Yeah. It might be able to get a little better.
Well, Keith, enjoy it. Number 4 for the season. We'll have that seafood. I know we say it every time. We'll have that sooner or later.
Hey, I want to thank Triad Engineering for being on board, Garvin Signs, Poncho's Racing Product, Jonathan DeHaven, Danny's Auto Repair, A&C. That's a good bullet under the hood. It don't give us any problems. Anybody back there in the pits, they make a good product.
Well, congratulations, and there's no doubt about it. It's proven itself out on the racetrack. Keith Reed, for the 4th time, your Pure Stock feature winner tonight here at Hagerstown.